big pot of spaghetti sauce. So this is my canner pot, and it's a little more than half full. We ate dinner from this last night, and we made a whole bunch with the intention of canning it because we're down to about 3 jars right now, and we use it on such a regular basis for things that it's time to do it again. And another reason we decided to do it was because the Harris Teeter, one of my favorite local grocery stores where you don't really shop a whole lot except for sales, they had the ragu spaghetti sauce that we like as a base for our sauce. Buy 2, get 3 free, limit of 10. So we bought 10 jars, and that's what went in the pot. Every single one of them. We used 6 pounds, 7 pounds of meat. We used 5 pounds of ground beef and 2 pounds of ground pork. And then Rick did his magic, and so here it is. But I haven't done a video showing how I can the sauce. You can refer to Rick's Irish spaghetti video, which was made, I think, last November or so. And if you want to see how he makes the sauce. But we're going to concentrate today on pressure canning our spaghetti sauce, because if you're like us and you have a favorite way of making your pasta sauce, why not make it a whole bunch at a time? The pasta sauce, chili, if you like sloppy joes, you can mix it all up together and can it. You can do soups and stews, and you'll have them ready on the shelf, so when you come home after a long day and you don't know what to make for dinner, relief is minutes away, because you just pop open a quart of sauce, boil up a half a pound of pasta, and have some bread and salad, and dinner is ready in no time. And even your kids can help you fix it, and your husband can help you fix it, because it's so easy to do, because you already did all the work. So I just want to get started by showing you, and I don't think that I can drive this point home too much. I have a new flat of quarts because I am trying to achieve 1,000 jars, whether it's in use or on hand. But anyway, this was just easy. As you can see, it's pouring rain all day today, all day yesterday, half a day Friday. And so rather than go out to my storage or have Rick get up in the attic, we were in the store. I thought, I'm just going to buy a flat jars. But remember, when you're washing your jars, these jars come from the factory and they've been sterilized. They've been washed in hot water and they've been dried before they go in the box. But we like to wash them when we get them home. Hot soapy water, rinse them out, check the rim, hold it up to the light, and make sure there are no cracks, because a hairline crack can be potentially dangerous, especially when you're pressure canning. Then we're going to rinse it really well and get all that soap out of there. And we just set it aside. I saved the last 3 or 4 jars just so that you could see how I do it. You know, in no time, it gets done. Inspect it for cracks. It looks good. And then also, I wanted to mention to you, for those of you who haven't done a lot of canning, when you buy your jars, when you pick up those flats of jars, give it a little shake. Because if you hear anything rattling around in that box, you should probably put it down and get another one. Because there could be a broken jar in there. And, you know, you don't want, these are already expensive enough. You know, we invest in these jars. They will last a lifetime if they are taken care of properly. So why do you want to pay? And then you end up getting home, it wastes your time, it wastes your money and your effort, and it helps you get discouraged when you get home and realize that you're all ready to can, and you popped open a case of jars, and 2 of them are busted. So we don't want to do that. So just a little thing I thought about today when I was buying my jars. So what I'm going to do is just pull my board over here. And, you know, for some of you who have asked me, I do this because I don't have a lot of counter space in my kitchen, and I oftentimes, since I have a dishwasher, don't need that second side of my sink. So the cutting board is my answer. All right. We don't need to hot pack these. I'm going to rinse my sink out real quick though. I'm going to put my canner pot right down in the sink. And don't look at my dirty sink. Yes, I know it needs to be bleached, and hopefully soon you're going to see a whole new sink. Because we got a stainless steel sink at a garage sale that is in perfect condition, and I cannot wait to install that. All right, let's get all of this stuff out of the way. Let's see here. All right, I'm just going to, I've got my jars over here, my jar lids rather. They're in some hot water. And I'm going to go ahead and this sauce was made last night. And we literally just left the pot sitting on the back of the stove. And I need a canning funnel. Since Rick is standing right next to the cupboard, he's going to grab me one. Thanks, babe. Alright. I'm going to fill... Oh, I'll show you filling one jar and then I'll bring you back. Because I have to get my canner set up. The last time we did this, I ended up with 10 quarts after we had eaten a meal out of it. And that's about where I want to leave it. That's about an inch of headspace. That's perfect. That's where we want to keep it.
That first scoop sounded disgusting.
I know.
But it tastes a whole lot better than it sounds.
That's true. Like I said, nothing beats having your own home canned food on the shelf, especially for those nights when you just are too tired or too busy. I mean, we're all in the middle of, we're back to school and everybody is in a different frame of mind. We're gearing up for the holidays. Halloween's coming, Thanksgiving's coming. For those of you who celebrate Halloween, you know, that can be a busy time, especially if you have small children. My girls are old enough now that they don't want to dress up anymore, but I still like to decorate the house for autumn because autumn is my favorite time of year. And, you know, getting in the spirit, getting geared up for the end of the year and getting geared up for Christmas and just being, you know, so thankful for what you have. And, you know, there really is something to that. And putting the garden to sleep and all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you with the rest of this process. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wipe my rims. I'm going to put my hot lids and hot rings on there, and then when I come back, we're going to put these in the pressure canner, and we'll be back when I'm ready to do that. Okay, I have jarred up all my sauce. I cleaned my rims. I put hot rings and lids on them. And let's see. That's 6, right? I don't think one fits in the middle. Oh, it does. Look at that.
Yeah.
But I think...
Yeah. Put on touching.
I got 11 quarts today, so that's a good thing. So we'll put 6 on the bottom and 5 on the top. And that'll be good. And then I'm going to get the petroleum jelly down off of the top of the refrigerator. And I'm just going to use that on my seal. I think it's up here. Isn't it up here? Uh-oh. Pause it. Now when you have one of these All-American, you know, we found the petroleum jelly, so. When you have one of these canners, you want to make sure that you put... I haven't done it in a couple of times, and this has been washed, so I just want to make sure this has plenty of lubrication. Otherwise, if it gets too hot or something goes wrong, you know, you can have a problem getting this seal to break when it comes time to take everything out. and this is per the manufacturer's recommendations, if you have a pressure canner that requires a gasket, you don't need to do this. This is those All-American, and I gotta do the lid too, so I can just do around the edge here. And then I also do underneath here on this, there's a slight lip. Not too much, just enough. And for those of you who have been canning or pressure canning for some time and are considering buying an All-American model, I highly recommend them. They really are the Cadillac of a pressure canner. They are the best you can buy, and they are worth every penny. You buy this canner and you're not going to buy another canner for the rest of your life as long as you follow the directions and do everything you're supposed to do with it. Okay, I have to wipe my hands off. Excuse my reach. All right. Put the lid on here. There we go. Somewhere somebody isn't. Or they're supposed to be. That looks to be about right. Now we're going to lift our turn screws. And we're going to tighten them evenly. These two next. And when I'm not using my pressure canner, I store this in a plastic bin. I don't have a lot of room in my house. I don't have a lot of storage in my house. So I do store this in a plastic bin out on my deck, and I keep care of it. I wash it out. I make sure that it is completely dry before I put it away. Like I said, if you take care of this, it'll take care of you. Just like any tool. And give all these one last twist. Make sure it's secure. All right. I've got the pot that I boiled the rings and lids in was full of water. So when I needed to put water in the pressure canner, I didn't want to waste that water, so I put it in the bottom of my canner. So there's about 3 quarts, less than that, and maybe 2 quarts of water in the bottom here. And you don't have to put that much, but I just poured it in there. I also poured about 3 tablespoons of white distilled vinegar in here as well. That'll help any mineral deposits from settling on your jars. Now I've got it on medium-high heat to bring it up to temperature. And we're going to, once this starts to vent, we're going to let it vent for 10 minutes. At which point, we're going to put our weight on. And for my area, I need to put it on 10 pounds of pressure. And we're going to pressure can the quarts for 90 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. Now, if you're doing pints, you want to do 75 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. And because this is spaghetti sauce, you're going to want, and there's more than one thing in it. It's not just like you're not just canning tomatoes and you're not just canning ground beef. You're canning both. So what you need to do is you need to look for your area, take the longest, the ingredient that takes the longest to can is the ingredient that you will judge your length of canning for. So because the ground beef needs the longest amount of time, that is how long we're going to can the spaghetti sauce for. So 90 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. First, we're going to bring this up to a full vent and let it vent for 10 minutes. When I'm at that point, I will come back and we'll put the weight on and we'll explain once again what we're going to do from there. So we'll be back shortly. We're back, and it's been about 45 minutes. for this to come up to a full boil and for the pressure canner to vent, I have had it vent for 10 minutes and I had my timer set. And now we're going to put the weight on it. And here's the weight, and you can see that there are 3 numbers. There's a 5, a 10, and a 15. This indicates pounds of pressure. For those of you who are unfamiliar with pressure canning, you need to check your local area at your local cooperative extension office. It is an extension of the State Department of Agriculture. It's usually run under the auspices of a state university, and they can tell you what the local pounds of pressure are for your area. I'm going to put that on there. For 10 pounds of pressure, that is my recommendation in my area. At my elevation, if you live above sea level, like for instance, I used to live in Williams, Arizona, we were at 6,400 feet there. So I would have had to pressure can there for at 15 pounds and for a much longer time. So we're at 10 pounds of pressure. I'm going to monitor my pressure gauge here. When it reaches 110, or which reaches 10, pardon me. When it reaches 10, I'm going to turn the heat back a little so it will stabilize, and I am going to monitor this gauge for the next 90 minutes. I'll start timing 90 minutes once it reaches the 10-pound place on the dial, and then I will start my timer for 90 minutes. And then we're just going to monitor that closely. Don't walk away, don't go out in the garden, don't go talk to your neighbor, don't go do anything unless it is relatively close to this pressure canner. I have a friend, Cat's Cradle, who recommends that you sit right by your pressure canner and you don't leave your kitchen. I keep a very close eye on my pressure, and that is up to you how you choose to do it, but don't plan on running to the grocery store or going out and working in the yard. This is something you need to keep close by. So, I'm going to monitor this. When it reaches 10 pounds of pressure, I'm going to start my timer for 90 minutes. When these are ready to come out, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what they look like. Okay. We canned it for 90 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure, and then we turned off the heat. We walked away from it for at least an hour. I went and I watched a movie. So it's been a little more than an hour. And then you're going to take your weight off, unscrew all your thumb screws, turn it to the left, and then remove the hot lid off to the side because it will be very hot. Oh, it smells like spaghetti sauce. And then you'll remove your jars off to the side, and they will be, you're going to see some liquid that looks like it's pressured out of the jar, and that's very possible. And spaghetti sauce is one of the messier things to pressure can because you will have to go in here later. I'll probably run my trays through the dishwasher to get them super clean, and then I will once these jars are completely cool, I will wash them in hot water. But don't touch them today. Just set them off to the side. I know it may be bothersome to look at how dirty some of them may be because they're going to be greasy on the outside, and you're going to want to clean them, but they're really too hot, and you're going to risk your seal if you jostle them too much. But in the end, you're going to be very happy that you did this. And I'm just putting them on this tray so that I can carry them off and put them on the table. And you can see inside the pot that there is some exchange of the contents of your jar while they are undergoing the pressuring process. So it just makes sense that that's going to happen. So don't freak out when you see that, because it's just going to happen. It happens with everything that you pressure can. Some things you just don't see it as much as when you do spaghetti sauce or something red. So that's it. That was really easy. You know, you take something you're going to make anyway and you make a whole lot of it and you pressure can it for later. So that way, whenever, like I said before, you have a busy night, you came home, everybody's hungry, you have a headache, you're hungry, because that's why you have a headache, because you're hungry. So what do? Box of pasta, jar of sauce. If your family is a little bit larger, what I like to do sometimes, if I want to stretch this sauce, is I will add another jar, like a pint, those pint and a half, 16 or 18 or 20 ounce jars of pasta sauce that is your favorite, and I add it to this, and I let it simmer for about 10 minutes, and it'll take on the home cooked flavor of your own sauce. That way it helps you stretch your sauce just a little bit further, and you can have leftovers for a lunch or two for the next day to take to work with you. So really you're killing two birds with one stone, and you're helping to rotate out your food storage in the first place by using up some of that store-bought sauce that you like to have on the shelf. So I hope you try this, and I hope you enjoy it. And until next time, I'll see ya!